spots. What about these road cops? Pity. My message to the citizens committee. Who the biggest lawbreakers in the city? Full of corrupt politicians, red tape, roadblocks, criminals, dope spots. What about these road cops? They bust them on the head with closed fists and hard kicks. A bunch of nightsticks trying to end his life quick. The kicks turn to stomps. They maced them and tased them. Dragged them out the car by his dreads, must have dazed him. Killing them but telling us he should have got a ticket. Traffic stop, drug stop, specify which is it. With every single witness saying he never resisted. Imaginary balls and ankle socks, must have missed it. Cardiac arrhythmia, dehydration. We even heard about positional asphyxiation. The bruises and the scarring, the suffering and pain. 30 minutes passed before the ambulance came. I find it all insane to beat and kill for sport. It took 5 months to get the autopsy report. The coroner, the cops, and the fucking state's attorney knew my cousin was dead before they put him on the gurney. No pity. My message to the citizens committee. Who's the biggest lawbreakers in the city? Full of corrupt politicians, red tape, roadblocks, criminals, dope spots. What about these road cops? Pity. My message to the citizens committee. Who's the biggest lawbreakers in the city? Full of corrupt politicians, red tape, roadblocks, criminals, dope spots. What about these road cops? Deceiving the public is something closer to impossible. Phony autopsy, but we know it wasn't logical. Highly improbable, undetermined manner. I like the way you doctored up the calls across the scanner. Your signal 13 sounded staged and unfinished. Your life was being threatened, not a single fucking blemish on any of the officers involved in the murder of Tyrone West. Man, that shit is unheard of. Let's go a step further. Examine all the evidence. 10 lying cops against the truth of all the residents. Cell phone footage, live interviews. I'm extra disappointed in the puppets from the news. Afraid to dig deeper, their information shoddy. 5 whole days until my family saw his body. No statement from the cops, but they spoke with their attorney. They know they killed my cousin when they put him on the gurney. No pity. My message to the citizens committee. Who's the biggest lawbreakers in the city? Full of corrupt politicians, red tape, roadblocks, criminals, dope spots. What about these road cops? Pity. My message to the citizens committee. Who's the biggest lawbreakers in the city? Full of corrupt politicians, red tape, roadblocks, criminals, dope spots. What about these road cops? They didn't notify my family, we saw it on the news. Tawanda saw a green Mercedes-Benz and got confused. They talking about a man dying in police restraint. She saw her tag numbers and it caused her to faint. That can't be my brother Ty, I was just with him. Not even 30 minutes before he became a victim. She had a funny feeling, kinda like a sixth sense. Her back started aching, her muscles got tense. She couldn't understand all the pain she was going through. Like they ripped the soul out of his body. He was showing you everything that happened to him, transmigration. He made you feel his pain before his final destination. They took away a father, cousin, grandson, and brother, uncle and nephew, but I feel sorry for my mother, cause she became his mom when my aunt passed away. We're stronger as a family, but she cries every day. No pity. My message to the citizens committee. Who's the biggest lawbreakers in the city? Full of corrupt politicians, red tape, roadblocks, criminals, dope spots. What about these road cops? Throw up your hands like you're under arrest. Hell nah. Throw up your fists like you want protest. Hell yeah. Throw up your hands like you're under arrest. Hell nah. Throw up your fists like you want protest. Hell yeah.
We've been fighting a long time.
I can't hear.
Very much. So many loved ones gone. You are not alone. There are pockets of resistance all around. We are at the brink. But we're all stay alive. You have no idea how important you are. Are you listening to this?
Mic check, mic check. This is West Wednesday number 406. We are fighting for justice for Tyrone West and for all victims of police violence. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. So like my brother Ben said, this is West Wednesday. This is week 406, day 2842. And as that video just played, that was a video that my cousin had made in regards to my brother being brutally executed on July the 18th, 2013. And in that video, you can see some footage of, the medical examiner's office, which we have been protesting many years. Many of these years and weeks, we have been there. And we have always said from day one that David Fowler, Pam Southpaw, and Bruce Goldfarb, all of them working there, are just horrible. It's just horrible the way they lie and get away with murder. They get these cops off with bloody murder, and it's just not right. And so now, as we're seeing what's happening with the George Floyd trial, that pretty much David Fowler threw his own self under the bus when he got up on that stand. It was ridiculous, and it's just sad. And speaking of the George Floyd case, I'm thinking about now they're actually trying to get a whole new trial with some foolishness, and it's just sad. It just shows you how white supremacy always steps in when it comes to this so-called legal system, and it's just not right. It's just not right, because I think of the many trials that Keith Davis Jr. been through, a man that pretty much was gunned down literally shortly after Freddie Gray was executed, and no one never really had his back besides the people, besides us, besides his beautiful wife Kelly. But as far as this system, it can go straight to what, because it's just sad. But then all of a sudden now they're trying to get a whole new trial because they're saying one of the jurors was seen, protesting or something like that with the Black Lives Matter and all this stuff. But at the end of the day, it's cool when you have these white racist people sitting on juries trials and getting them indicted for no reason, getting them convicted and all types of things that they do just because they're known racist, and they could be Trump supporters, but nobody never pulls that up, and that never stands. So I'm just going to be sitting back watching and just to see what happened. And I'm just praying that in this case that they dismiss that foolishness, because nobody wants to go. George Floyd family does not deserve to go through that. None of us do. And us watching, and especially people that endure police brutality, that was disturbing for us, because every time we witness it, it's almost as if our loved ones are being murdered again. And it was way too much for me, because I think about the way my brother Tyrone West was murdered. We had David Lewis after my brother was brutally beat for over 15 minutes. We had David Killer Lewis crash up the Morgan State University. And this is a private police officer for Morgan State University. That's why the topics that we're going to talk about tonight is very important. That's why I choose two incredible, dear people to me to come to be our special guests tonight, because these are the things that we need to talk about. We need to talk about why private policing is a big problem. And definitely, we got my brother Boom that has no filter, that's going to bring it to you. So, but enough is enough. But like I said, in the case with my brother, and the reason why I said we don't need private police, such as Hopkins wanted to bring on more private police, we have too many police officers now that are not doing the right thing. They're only serving us death while they are protected. And meanwhile, the only way we were able to, my family was able to get David Lewis from Morgan State University information was through the Public Information Act. Me and my family literally had to wait 6 months just to get David Killer Lewis' name. It's horrible. Like, nobody family should go through that. And that's just a big problem with private police. And so, and then this officer that I'm talking about that's supposed to be for Morgan State University, he's a known repeat violent offender. So every time we would go protest up at Morgan State University, unfortunately, we always come across a victim that was brutalized by David Killer Lewis. But the fact that when my brother first was pulled over on July the 18th, 2013, literally, he wasn't doing nothing wrong, no drugs, no weapons, nothing. Nothing was going on with my vehicle. He was just at the wrong place at the wrong time. But like my beautiful cousin Samaya always said, you had the wrong man, but you truly have the right family that's going to fight you to the end. I am my brother's keeper. We're going to fight you to the end. And this is bigger than my brother, because unfortunately it didn't start with my brother. And the saddest part, it doesn't end with my brother. But when I think about George Floyd, I think about, seeing a man with a knee on his neck dying, dying, screaming for his dead mama. And that boy, that literally almost killed me, because I thought about David Lewis being in that same position on my brother's neck after my brother was beat for over, like I said, 15 minutes by 11 to 15 armed men and women. It's just disgusting. And literally to be beat in such a horrific manner. This case shouldn't have never been closed. It should have been prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law, and my family tried. It was the whole purpose of us seeking attorney. We didn't give a damn about no civil. We all we wanted was the criminal side. But when the criminal side decided to turn their damn back on my family, that was all we was left with to try to get some more answers and get closer to the truth. It's just sad and disgusting. Nobody family deserves to go through that. But like I said, David Killer Lewis, Officer Ruiz, Killer Chapman, these three, I want every last one of them to lay the finger on my brother. But if I had to get stopped and say, well, damn, how many could you get? If I had to catch someone in the trap, I want each and every last one of them to lay one finger. But the first two, Ruiz and Chapman, that started this, that are repeat violent offenders, and then David Keller Lewis, who did the most crucial part after my brother was suffering, after being pepper sprayed and tased, beat, kicked, stomped, tortured. On video footage, we have no video footage to this day. We have nothing. Only thing we're left with is hope that someone gets indicted, prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. And then an indictment is just not enough. We need these officers convicted, and we need them convicted to at least 100 years or longer.
There
That's
you
what they
go.
do to us. That's what they do to us. And it's okay, but then they want to give them 5 and 10 years. And I have seen brothers in the street get 30, 40 years just for having marijuana. But now they want to legalize it in some states and they want to get capitalized off the cash, then it's okay. And I done seen brothers literally do 20 to 30 years for some marijuana. And it's just sad and disgusting, but it's a capitalist, racist system that we are dealing with. But no further ado, I'm going to bring my first guest on. Dre, and I love Dre because I was fortunate enough to meet Dre, and I give it up always for the setting when the students from Hopkins decided to do a setting at John Hopkins University. They sat in for over up to 30 days, literally nonstop, and they went through trauma. Like they went through trauma. You don't know. Like I think they should make a movie about them. I really do. These brave souls with their demands, and one of their demands was justice for Tyrone West. Another one of their demands also was saying no to private policing and no to ICE. So they had these three demands, and justice for Tyrone West is justice for all, and that's why we're right now at this point. I'm encouraging everyone, and I want to thank everyone that's trying to support. We're getting letters out. We need to do more than just get letters out. We need to make them right now at this point reopen these cases. And another thing I'm gonna talk to you guys about tonight, I have a petition that my sister each time started. It's every case matters, right? And it don't just single out just Tyrone West or this one or that one. Unfortunately, it's about all of our cases, and that's what it's about. And once we get 1 million signatures on here, they have no choice but to actually listen to us. So our plan is I want you guys, I shared the petition this morning twice. I want you guys after this West Wednesday to go on and share the petition on your page. Not only share it, sign it, get everybody to sign this petition. We need these. We got our plans together right now. Since they're looking at the medical examiner's office, I'm trying to make sure, and they're saying that they want to do a review. A review is not good enough for me. A review is just saying it might be. We don't know what a review might be, but we know with all the dog and pony shows that we done went through in the past, with them just flipping the page, looking at a total regurgitation of what the killer cop said. Nothing about what the witnesses said. Nothing about the truths and the facts. We need them to look at every fact, everything. We need them to do everything to bring true accountability, because at this point there is no justice. It's just us, because justice does not allow us to keep getting murdered over and over and over again. And the reason why I say over again is because every time we see a victim of police brutality, that touches our heart. Every time, we can't even look at the news, all these multiple shooting, women, children, every day. I can't take it, y'all. And then they're on the news talking about, oh, we're going to beat the record of 359 bodies by the end of the year. Who gives a damn about y'all goddamn numbers? These are families you're talking about. Every time somebody loses their loved one, do you think they give a damn? Do you think they want their loved one to be a damn statistic? No. But again, it's connected to the highway of hell that's wiping us out. So I would be a fool to say that it is not connected because it is. I always said that, even though I always advocate and scream real loud for police brutality, because guess what? The system plays a different game. And the reason why they do it is because at the end of the day, if we get somebody, like somebody in the community kills someone, and we get people to stand up and testify, guess what? You will never see that person again. You will never see them again. But when these killer cops, we can see them doing it, we can know what they do, it could be on video, they do not get the same treatment. That's a big ass difference. Excuse my language, but it pisses me off. So if anybody want to be clear on the difference and why we fight the way we do, because like I said, they're the ones that are protected while they are serving us death, they're serving us brutality. So right now, we are screaming, and we've been screaming, cell block for killer cops. We've been saying reopen all these goddamn cases, and we're going to keep on saying it. But right now, this is a central point. All the cases need to be reopened because, like I said, if this wasn't a racist system, they wouldn't have never been closed. Because if we did the things that were done to our loved ones, we would have been, the book would have been thrown at us and we would have never seen the streets again. So when I think about all the women killed by police officers, it's horrible. I think about my sister Gina and her beautiful daughter India. I think about Corinne Gaines, my beautiful sister Rhonda, her daughter. You met her brother last week when he came out to West Wales and was talking about, it, and I felt so good that this brother actually stood there and shared his pain, even though it makes me sad to see a family go through that. But before I bring our Queen Dre on, I wanted to just first of all I'm gonna bring her on and let her introduce, but then we're gonna see go into a video after she talked because you guys need to watch this video. But most importantly, this is the reason why we said we don't need no more police officers. That is not the answer. And just like they keep when I keep seeing in the news, that Governor Hogan had the nerve to throw shots again at the mayor and at the state's attorney and all this stuff. And like, what are you doing, Governor Hogan? Not a damn thing. You are the reason we're in this predicament. Like, don't think we forgot all the stuff that you did and the foolishness that you support. That was a reason why I didn't like you from the start. And I still don't like you. It's just disgusting. Like, come on now, enough is enough. You could throw shots at this, that, and the third, but meanwhile, you don't have any answers. You don't have any answers. And the crazy part, y'all want to keep on blaming, oh, the mayor for all the homicides in the city and all this stuff. Guess what? Before they brought Mayor Scott in here, it was so the homicides been out of control. Let's be real. The homicides got out of control ever since Freddie Gray blood laid on that ground. When the police department, Baltimore City Police Department, decided to turn their goddamn back in 2015, and the numbers been rising ever since. Prove to me that I'm lying. Prove to me, show me where I'm lying at. Them numbers been out of control ever since that so-called bullcrap consent decree came into place. They said, you know what? And they use any and every excuse to say, we don't give a damn. And let this turn slam into the Wild Wild West. And again, I'll say it, and I'm going to always say it. Do not think that every time you hear about all this violence happening, don't keep on saying, oh, that was us. We need to stop killing each other. Yeah, of course. Everybody, whoever kills people needs to stop. But let's stop blaming each other for every crime that we see when you always never like nobody's never caught, but we're quick to say, oh, it was a black, all is black. I never say that black on black foolishness because all races kill people. Let's be crystal clear. So don't get caught up in that. But don't even get caught up into all this community stuff because we don't know who are doing this half the time. Sometimes you do know because sometimes they'll catch people or whatever. But at the end of the day, we don't know who's doing all these shootings. We don't know. We don't know. It's like every somebody's out here purging for real. It's like, and it's just disgusting. But I can go on forever, and I won't. But I'm just gonna bring on our special guest Dre. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check, mic check.
Mic check.
Thank you, Tawanda. Thanks, y'all, for your time. So I'm not on camera. My connection's a little shoddy, but I hope you could hear me. Just wanted to checking about this video. You can see it's rather it doesn't become physically violent interaction with these officers, but this is the kind of stuff we catch on video of the way they just treat people regularly. So what do we have to wait and see what has to happen next? We don't need any of these things to escalate, and it, highlights the experience that Tawana had when, as a guest as students, you are a guest, and that's the way they wanted to treat you, targeting you, having people come and attack you, which we don't have on video, but you'll see in this video, we try and make the connection to the inequity that we see happening already come forward. So appreciate y'all time watching this footage. And just to touch on Hopkins and the medical examiner, just really tragic that, they have all this medical, what they call professionals, but they can't say nothing about what's going on with the medical examiner, that sort of thing. So, Hopkins they want to say Hopkins is a premier medical institution, but they won't even call out this straight foolishness with the medical examiner. And I could go on and on, but appreciate your time. If we want to take a look at the video, and if you want to connect further, please get in touch. Thank you.
Thank you, Dre. And before we put the video on, I'm glad you mentioned it. So during the set-in and whatnot, I'll never forget different coalition groups were actually coming to show their support. That we had, the students back, and everybody, all the grassroots that were a part of this and everything back. But it was ironically that I was targeted by Ron Daniels, aka Ronald McDonald's, the clown. He had the nerve, the audacity to send a threatening message via my lawyers. I got a call, on the 300 West Wednesday. We were going to go up there to go and celebrate May Day and, do the 300 West Wednesday and all that stuff. And the threat was really serious. And it said, if Miss Jones comes up onto the premises, please let her know that she's not welcome, and blame me for the whole set-in. I was to blame for everything, and that this is not right, and that pretty much I would be charged with trespassing. So do not go up there. And when I got that call, y'all already know. I couldn't wait to run up there. That wasn't gonna stop me. Are you serious? So I couldn't wait. Like I was well, sort of punked down and be like, oh, I'm not gonna go today, guys, because Ronnie D called my attorney. I couldn't wait. Just like I said that day when I stood out there on Green Mountain, we walked all the way over to Hopkins. I said, if I'm not running from the mayor, the police commissioners, or nobody, who the hell is Ronnie D? Nobody. But the crazy part, that night we were attacked by a racist guy with his son. With his son. We were actually attacked. And thank God that Uncle Bill told people to walk me to my car, because this maniac was standing 50 feet away from my vehicle waiting for me in the middle of the night. It was pitch black. So I just want y'all to keep that in mind. Thank you. And y'all can go on. And this video has nothing to do with that, but I just wanted to let y'all know these are the games that are happening, or that happened. Thank you. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
We literally go to this school, so please relax. Do you understand that? We go to this school? So please, like, I think you need to chill out a little bit. I think you need to chill out a little bit. Literally go to this school. I think you need to chill out a little bit. If that's cool. If I may say that. We literally go here, so we're walking around here, yeah. Are we being detained? Are we being detained? No, I'm not being detained.
Wow, thank you for sharing that. And Dre, would you like to say anything in regards to the video before we go to Marcellus to see if anybody made any comments?
No, I think the full footage maybe posted is maybe like 6 minutes long. Sorry if I missed something, but no, thank you very much.
And thank you so much for sharing it. We appreciate you. Marcellus, Mike check. Do we have any comments or questions?
Yes, we have a couple on Facebook. To start off, Bruce says, "Good evening, all." Miss Smoke says, "Mic check." Bill Blyche, Uncle Bill, commented and said, "Hey Bruce and all viewing participants, very good to be with you in the struggle against police terror." Hillary says, "Hey, better late than never. We are here." Mic check. With everything, I guess we're a little behind. And Gretchen says, "Remember that all of our state senators, except for Jill Carter and Mary Washington, voted for JHU private police. They are all up for re-election in 2022. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
And we will remember in 2022. We definitely gonna remember. Definitely. All right, and thank you, Marcella, for saying that. So, no further ado, I'd like to bring my brother Boom on, aka Mr. Neverdon. And he been on here many a times. He was just with me last week. He's with me all the time. Like even when y'all don't see him, he's with me. Like when I go out of town, like you said, he's always, no matter what state, city, wherever I'm at, Boom is always near. So no further ado, I'd like to bring my brother Boom up. Mic check.
Mic check. Can y'all hear me?
Mic check. Yes.
All right. How everybody doing? I hope y'all can hear me. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. I'm not going to be too long. I'm not going to be too short. But what I will say is that just like with Bill do a lot of statistics. And with me, I work with more like the ex-offender community. And what I just realized last week, can y'all hear me?
Yes.
Last week, I got some paperwork which is called wrongful race convictions in the United States. All the wrongful convictions due to race relations in the United States. And I'm one of the ones that's in this actual file. What I just realized, and I'm going to get this over there to Bill, they said that 50% of race-related cases on black on white crime, like murder, 50% of them get overturned because there's a corrupt police involved in the process. Out of 50% of the convictions of white on black, or black on white murders throughout the United States of America, and they said that if they had more money to even actually push more cases, it would be more than 50%, all because a dirty police officer or a prosecutor like a Mosby play together like that gun trace task force stuff, and nobody ever receives justice. Just like in my case, I'll give you an example. I always wonder why me and Shorty Davis' case never made it to the judicial branch. After we got acquitted, the judicial branch is the courts and judges. That's for cases such as mine that would go up there to see what went wrong from the judge down to the original arrest. And they would send that information back down to better serve the courts. That's what we pay for, which were the judicial branch, which would be called checks and balances throughout the whole government. But as we see it, we're noticing, like Tamara said, that these things are not getting done. And I don't think it's starting to get a little old. Because if you got a guy like myself who used to be in the streets that never cared less about none of these things that we speaking on this phone about, and I actually used to be the problem, how did I catch up? To not only just come out of prison in 1997, but only to see that we have only been regurgitating the same problems, same ills. And when I look on in 1900 and I look at my black and brown people who were actually marching, some of them are even saying the same things that my generation is saying in Generation X. And even with that, something isn't right. I even see that to be engineered to either insane or we just have to definitely try another process. I say all that to say, if our adversaries knew that marching was something that helped us, then I don't think that they would have allowed it to continue on helping us. So people who just march, I used to think it was a war cry before we was to boycott and do the very things we used to have to do. Like the Muslims just came out of Ramadan where you don't eat, you don't drink. I think if we would have did that in the course of a whole country, America just would have fell in reference to not getting them very products they would have got then. We have to come a better way, and the only way that you come at these people is with gunpowder or boycott. If you're not going to use gunpowder, then you got to come with boycott. We know that gunpowder is not going to get us anywhere, but probably, worse off. But I know one thing that we do have, we all have a control of where our dollar is spent. And that's the morally, the biggest power that we have from a capitalistical giant. And one of the biggest adversarial things that we have never had, as bad as we have now, is classes and Negropeans. They are the most dangerous thing that ever hit the face of the movement since the European invasion. They're very dangerous. There are people like, their names are like Brandon Scott and Merlin Mosby. These are names of what they're saying. These are the new dangerous people that one day they can have somebody who was once your friend next to you and turn that same friend against you to bring you on a plate to them. That's a very dangerous person supposed to be amongst your race, your culture, your roots, if that's what it's supposed to be. Or are we coming in humanity? Because we can't be, because Marilyn Mosby record shows she doesn't weigh justice from a humanitarian standpoint. Captain Pew showed that she's a capitalist. So why are we playing? If it's not going to be gunpowder, then it has to be a real organized boycott. That if your stomach isn't hurting, then you didn't boycott nothing at all. The blood of Tyrone West would never, that blood is never going to go in vain. But I do like this movement, and what Tawanda says is victims of all police brutality. But the ones who I'm really starting to notice who are hurting also is the ones, unfortunately, sometimes the things that I hear, some of the people say they would have wished they'd rather died than Abdul Salam having to see the trauma that got to come from his son every day. For a father to have to deal with that, and if it never happened to you, sometimes you probably don't want to, he probably wish he did die to have his son being scared every time a police come by where his son had that trauma for the rest of his life. So just because you're not on the in the ground, people on this line like Abdul Salam and many of them are walking dead. They're traumatized. They have a trauma bond to forever Baltimore, even if they was to ever move. So we have to understand that even the trauma bonds we have adapted on the West Wednesday front line, that some of us came from trauma bonds, some of us came from direct impacted issues, but now I'm noticing that once the trauma or once we get a little healed, we tend to leave the mission of what we originally, not saying us as a whole in the West Coalition, but we all individually must tie up our boots in the lanes that we are, because Tawanda, we have to not forget Tawanda had her car slashed. This is not a game, we don't even have to say other people. Tawanda had these things happen to her herself. So it's just, we all we got, we all we need. We're in a great place, because if you're a fighter, this should be your Super Bowl. If you don't feel like you're in your Super Bowl, like you're happy to do this work, then I just say, and I honestly felt that way at my times, I always tell all of us, there's no problem with taking a break, because if there's no front line like Tawanda's, because you can leave from 6 months and come back and still feel like you never left. So just keep all that mindful in the work that everybody do. Kiss your daughter, kiss your sons, kiss your friends. And again, also teach forgiveness. however you do it, because if we actually get the work and the reward that we want, we want to forgive some of the people in front of us too, but we don't have to forget those. Salute.
Salute, my brother. That was deep. That was real deep. And in case y'all don't know who he was talking about when he mentioned the guy named Abdul Salam, Abdul Salam was almost murdered by the same two killer cops, Ruiz and
Yeah.
Chapman, on January the 1st. I'm sorry, July the 1st.
Yeah.
July the 1st, 2013, Abdul Salam was almost murdered by Ruiz and Chapman. And Omar, they were the three cops that almost killed Abdul Salam with his son bear witnessing to that. So I'm glad that Boom brought up Abdul Salam and his son. Like, and I just feel sorry for any victims. And as we're approaching Mother's Day this week, I want you to check on all the mothers that are in this fight that nobody asked to be in, that are in this family. Because at the end of the day, Mother's Day should be a day of celebrating your mother, giving you life, this, and that, and the third. But if I think about a mother who have lost her child or children, how traumatizing is that? How can you celebrate that day and feel special when the thing that made you feel special, when God blessed you to carry that special bond, that angel, that beautiful blood of yours inside of your womb, and now that is snatched? And then also for the ones that never even lost a child or whatever, but a mother such as myself who lost their own siblings, and then for me to actually not even have my mother, who I lost many, many years ago, it is traumatized. So a day that's supposed to be happy to most can be very traumatizing for a lot of people that mothers are no longer here. And I have a lot of friends on my Facebook page that recently and within the last past year or two or whatever lost your mother, and it's horrible when you lose your mother because that's a pain, I'm telling you, that will never go away. It doesn't matter, it could be 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, you're going to always feel that pain and trauma. So I'm just asking you to do something special, and that's taking care of yourself. Think about the blessings that you do have. Think about the way your mother loved you, or if you're a mother and you're hurting because you lost your child, think about the love your child gave you and the love you gave your child. And I pray that that helps you get through the holidays, And it's just sad that, like I said, on days that we're supposed, if you even celebrate holidays, and some people don't celebrate holidays at all, but if you're into the holiday thing or whatever, just keep in mind and check on the mothers, please, because at the end of the day, the mothers are the most powerful on this earth. I give it up to all the moms because anytime you can carry a child in your body, like for 9 years, and push a big baby, I don't care how small, big, or whatever, push a baby out. Like that is incredible. Nobody knows that love and bond, and the bond starts when you first find out you're pregnant. You start bonding with that special gift, and I just thankful that I had my children that will help me get through this holiday, even though I'm hurt that I don't have my mom. But then I think about my other two beautiful moms that I have, like my aunties and my family, and my beautiful grandmother. I'm so blessed to still have my grandmother, and that is the queen of my family. That is the one, that is the oldest one in my whole entire family. So I'm so blessed and honored. So I'm, instead of me being sad and all this kind of stuff, I'm going to pour into her. I'm going to pour into my children. I'm going to pour into all the other moms. I want to give a big shout out to you while I'm thinking real quick. And this is off the subject of moms, but I want to give a big shout out to Dan. Dan Hellerback. I love the Hellerbacks because they are a beautiful family that, like, if anybody know the Hellerbacks, like, that that is a loving family. It is Dan's birthday today, and they're just so sweet. Like they're just so, like, they're the Hillabacks. Like anybody knows that family, loves that family, from Eva to Mickey to everybody, like to Hillary to like all of them. Like we love each and every last one of them. So it's Dan's birthday. I think he turned 60 years old. So, and he looks really good. So I hope I look that good when I get 60. But we love you, Dan. If hopefully they're doing something nice right now, but knowing them, they're so like into the streets and into the struggle. They might be even watching right now as we're speaking, because I heard they said Hillary had made a comment about being late, so they're probably tuned in. But we love you guys, and this is the reason we love you, because you guys love so hard. So just wanted to again remind you guys, please check on your moms, and if you got a mother, show her love, because guess what? You only get one mother. Like, you're blessed to get one mother, and then you're blessed like when you have grandmothers and aunties and stuff like that. That's a big blessing. But even if you're going through a difficult time with your mother, with your sister, or whatever, check on them and love them while they're here, because I'm telling you, it's nothing like a mother angry if something happens to a child or anyone. Like, she will flip a car over, turn a river upside down, like, to make sure that these babies are okay and that everybody's okay. Like, we can multitask, we can do so many things. Like, oh my God. So just shout out and to the mothers, and just keep your head up. And a big shout out um to my cousin Cooch. She always checks on people. She caters, she cooks plenty of food, and she does a lot for the community. So I hope everybody's showing her a happy, good Mother's Day. So, mic check.
Mic check. So we currently have a couple more comments. Hillary posted a petition for reopening the cases. It's actionnetwork.org. I guess the link only takes you to the homepage instead of where the petitions are. So they're going to work that out. That's what Gretchen said. Gretchen says, "Happy birthday, Dan." Hillary says, "Thanks." And Bruce Emmerling says, "Happy birthday, Dan." And Carice Haslam says, "Happy birthday, Dan Hellerback. Hope you're having a special day." So I guess, okay, it's Hillary Hellerback's account that said thank you. So I guess speaking for Dan. And that's all the comments. Mic check.
Mic check. And thank you, Marcellus, for that, because you bring so much life to West Wednesday. Like, it's amazing. I just wanted to thank you. Mic check.
Mic check.
So, is Brother Boom still on it? Dre, I wanted to know, do they have any remarks or comments they want to make before we start reading our sad list that we always read off?
Just want to say happy Mother's Day to you, Tawana, and thank you for the
Thank
blessings to our mothers. And, people want to say we complain about the police about it, but just to hear you going, every day take care of other people's kids and your own family is truly means a lot to me, at least. So I just want to say thank you for blessing everybody.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Boom, would you like to say anything?
I don't think Boom is with us anymore.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, all right. So, and also, I want to give a big shout out to all the teachers all around the world. This is our week, so it's a week to celebrate, and it's always like the small stuff. Because, like I said, a teacher is the one that actually is like a marker. We forever leave that marking on a child's life, no matter what, no matter if it's good, bad, happy, or sad. So that's why I try to be the fun teacher, the one that the kids will always remember and love me the way that I love them, because they're the most precious thing. And the money is not in education at all. I'm sorry, like, we make pennies, like literally pennies, but the blessing comes in from, and that's priceless, and that's pouring into someone's future and having those babies look up to us as good role models and things like that. So that's priceless, and that's why I'm in it. Like, that's exactly why I'm in it. So I just wanted to give everybody a shout out, and like I said, shout out to all the teachers out there, and shout out to all the teachers at my job. We're actually not going to celebrate. We're going to start celebrating tomorrow and Friday, but we're going to actually start celebrating next week because we had a situation at my job, so we had a few classes shut down type of thing, but we will be celebrating at my school all next week and starting on tomorrow to continuing to the following week. So shout out to everybody and thanks in advance. So unfortunately, we got to do the thing that I hate doing. Is our brother Brian on here?
Yeah, I'm here.
Oh,
Let me on camera here. Yeah, so I want to just double up on before I do this hard part. I want to double up on what Tawanda has said and what some of you have said. I want to say, I want to say happy birthday, Dan. I've been 60 for a few years now. It's not as bad as it seems from a distance. And happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. And Tawanda, thank you so much for your work and teaching and all. We just, in this movement, this work is hard. It's not, it doesn't have a lot of rewards on the ground. Doesn't have the kind of rewards that the world teaches us to look for. You don't get rich, you don't get famous. So we just really need to take every chance that we have to just love and support each other. And so that's why I think it's so important that we do these sorts of things. And I want us to also love and try to support however best we can the families of these people because they need someone right now. And so this week there were 5 homicides in Baltimore in this list. One person's name was not yet been released, but the other 4, if you'll echo their names back for me. Fernando Rouse, 48.
Fernando Rouse, 48.
Wayne Williams, 21.
Wayne Williams,
21.
Kevin Adams, 43.
Kevin
Adams, 43.
Bruce Lemon, 31.
Bruce Lemon,
31.
Thank you.
Thank you, Brian, and I just appreciate it because I know. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Mic check. Mhm. Kylie. Oh. And I'm so sorry, Dan. I can hear the sadness in your voice, and I'm just so sorry to anybody, family member that's experiencing a horrible loss tragedy right now, because it's horrible, and my heart just goes out, and I'm just so sorry. And while we're talking about a sad list, as you know, that my cousin Tavon Anderson was unfortunately on that sad list on January the 20th of this year. It's just horrible. And I think about my auntie Dolores, who like is now living a nightmare. And I don't even know what to say to her for Mother's Day. This is her only son, her firstborn. Like, what do I say to her? What do I say to his 2 beautiful sisters who are suffering the same pain and hell that I lived through, that I'm still suffering, and then it's double suffering because Tavon was my brother. Even though he was my cousin, that was my brother. That was my brother too. And it's just sad, so my heart goes on. So as you hear these names, please realize that these names are connected to a a family that's forever hurting, a family that has to make arrangements and rearrange their whole entire life. It don't just start about the arrangements, arranging a funeral and all that. It goes beyond that. It's called rearranging your whole damn life for a nightmare that you never ever asked for. Just imagine you go to sleep and you have your loved one right there, and then all of a sudden, just out the blue, a nightmare happens and they're no longer here with you. My heart goes completely out, so I'm sorry. So, Uncle Bill, do you have that sad police brutality list?
Yes, I do. In the most recent week that has been reported, that's from April the 27th to May 4th, the police have stolen 11 lives around the United States. Most we haven't heard of, and there may be more because this is from the Washington Post, owned by Bezos, and they probably are not reporting every one of the police killings. Of those whose lives were taken during that week, 2 were killed on the 29th of April, 2 on the 30th, 3 on May 1st, and 2 on May 4th. 4 have not yet been identified, so when I come to those, I'll just say what city they were in, and unfortunately, we won't be able to raise their names up today. First, killed in Bakersfield, California by the police, 20 years old, and if you could repeat the name, please, Dalton Kuiman.
Dalton.
I'm sorry that this is not, let me get it. There we go. It wasn't responding. Give me one more second here. I'm sorry. Next was a person killed by the police in Los Angeles on April 29th, has not yet been identified. Apologize that we can't give the full appreciation for his life. After that, on April the 29th, in Lincoln County, MO is Missouri, right? I think
yes. MO is Missouri.
Thank you. Lincoln County, Missouri, 21 years old, killed by the police, Joe Robideau.
Joe
Robideau. On the 30th, killed by police in Kansas City, 25 years old, Hanad Abdiaziz. Killed in an apartment in Washington, D.C., 36 years old, on April 30th, Terrence Parker.
Terrence Parker.
Next person has not been identified as of yet, but was killed by police in Cannon City, Colorado, and was 28 years old. On May the 1st, the first of 3 killed by police on that day, 23 years old, Jacob Griffin.
Jacob Griffin.
And I think I failed to say Jacob lived in Nashville, Tennessee. Killed on May the 1st again in a house in South Haven, Indiana, 30 years old, Alexander Tuzinski.
Alexander
Tuzinski.
Also, now on May 2nd, 57 years old, in Hamilton Township, Ohio, Anthony Williams.
Anthony Williams.
On May the 4th, this person has not yet been identified in Camden County, Georgia. And unfortunately, I can't give appreciation that we should for that person. And on the same day, May the 4th, in Mesquite, Texas, also this man has not yet been identified. And that ends the list of people who this horrible system has snuffed out the lives of. And the system's got to go, is going to go, and we're going to build a better world for sure. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check. So again, I just want to say that my heart goes out to all the families on any sad list, regardless of it was the community violence, police brutality, is still connected to the highway of hell. Marcella, do you have any comments or questions?
We have a couple more comments on Facebook. Dan says, thanks for the shout out, older and hopefully wiser. I believe they were struggling to hear Ben. when he was talking earlier. They said the mic was low. Miss Smoke says, love and care to the families impacted by intra-community violence. Nelson says, my condolences to your family. And Nelson says, mic check. And that's all for the comments. And before we end, I wanted to put out something, which I can do at the end.
Okay. And thanks everybody for their comments, and thanks Nelson. But I also wanted to say, just in case they didn't hear Ben, Ben was explaining that pretty much it was a female that pretty much had passed away, and we're unsure how she died, but she was found in a vacant house and whatnot. And he was saying there was a close friend of his that used to be in, I think, the 300-man march, and he would always give his friend a ride home, and he was just really feeling sad. And he asked us to uplift her name. So if you didn't hear that, if his mic was low, I wanted to make sure you didn't miss that. And again, I will say, sometimes we'll go to 8, sometimes we'll go to 9. It all depends. But I just wanted to let everybody know that, again, check on your loved ones, check on your family members, because we're in some real serious, sad times. It's like, I feel like it's almost to the point I get so scared, nervous jumping on Facebook, literally, because you never know who is going to be posting something sad. It's horrible when it's close people to you, because you start bonding with people on Facebook as if they're your family. Some of them be your family members or real friends alike, or people that you really have close connection to, and you seeing them saying rest in peace. And again, I'll keep our sister Paula Muhammad up. I'll keep her husband Ramsey up, because I can imagine how he is feeling right now with losing his beautiful wife, and we're still trying to get answers. She was here with us, and then all of a sudden we're saying rest in peace, Paula. Like, it makes no sense to me. And then her beautiful children. She's a beautiful mother. She loved her children. She loved her husband. And most importantly, she loved God. She loved this community. She loved everybody. All I could just visualize is her beautiful laugh and her beautiful smile. Every time I never saw her with a sad face. And just to think, like, I can't imagine how he's feeling this weekend. Like, or any day, like, forget just a regular holiday, but just every day waking up without your significant other or the person, and your family that you really love. These are some sad times. Like, I'm tired, like, of just reading rest in peace. Like, one of my friends, Antonio, he lost his son. Like, it's sad that I think it's his son's funeral. It's today. Like, my heart goes out to Anthony Bollock. Like, it's just so sad. Like, we're losing our loved ones. Like, it's just sad. Like, we in times where the fathers and mothers are burying their children. There's something wrong with that. Our children are supposed to be burying us. We're supposed to be living an abundant life, not burying us at a young age. Or it's just really sad. But these are the times that we really need to just pour into each other, love each other. You cannot say something nice to somebody. Don't be that person's breaking point. Be that person's upliftment. You get what I'm saying? If you can't say something nice, don't say anything. You just never know. You might be the one that make that person just go over the edge and say, you know what, I'm done. Because just every day is always a challenge. You don't know how many challenges. Like, I saw one of my coworkers, she had a real post the other day. She was saying something, and I don't know what the post was about. I haven't talked to her, but she said something real about people being judgmental and people like suffering and with depression. And depression doesn't have a face or a look, but it's quick to like throw cast judgment on a person. Like, stop doing that, because you never know what somebody is going through. You never know what it takes for somebody to actually get to their job. Like, you might be having the luxury of even getting in a vehicle, driving to work, or even having the luxury of riding public transportation, but you never know the hell and nightmare somebody has to go to get to where you are. So don't be judgmental. Get what I'm saying? Don't be judgmental. These are the times we can easily try to judge a book by its cover. You can't do that. Like, just love each other, live to love, and love to live. Like, it's just hard. Like, just be there in any way that you can. And there's a lot that's going on in my life that I haven't. I'm hoping my friends are not judging me, because I haven't had a girls' night And I'm supposed to be going to an event this weekend that I probably won't even be able to go to because my mind is not right. Like I'm really suffering from losing my cousin. Like as much as I want to throw on some pretty clothes and hear some nice music and take my mind, I can't. I just cannot until we don't even have answers. Like my cousin's body has been gone off of this earth for 4 months, and my family don't know a goddamn thing. We're no closer to accountability, and I don't trust this system. I'm not going to trust anybody that failed my family before, no matter what side of the map we're on. So right now, I'm not trusting the damn process. I don't like the process, and I'm not a phony person. I can pretend to be happy when I'm not. You know, I cry every night. I cry every night, even during happy times. Like these are the times. So please, just love on people right now while you got them. Just appreciate people while you got them, because guess what? You can wake up right now. You can take a nap or turn your head for 2 seconds and you look back at your loved one and they gone. They gone. So make it right now. Appreciate them while they are here. And I just want to say I love my brother children. Like I love y'all. They breathe life into me. I love my children. I love my family. I love all of y'all. So that's all I want to say. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mike, check.
So I think Marcelo, you wanted to say something before we wrap up?
Yes. So tonight after West Wednesday, I'm leading the challenge discussion. We're going to be kind of discussing some of the eviction crisis that's going on for a challenge article starting at 9. So if anybody's interested, I can post a link in one of the various groups and get some people there. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mike, check.
Mic check. So what else was I say? I forgot what I was going to say. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry, guys. My mind is like all over the
Tawanda,
place.
while you're
Yes.
thinking, I just wanted to point out that on this date 2 years ago, Paula Muhammad was one of the hosts that honored you for the Black Girl Magic program. And a clip of some of Paula speaking about that is on my Facebook page today, if anyone would like to take a look at that.
Awesome. Yes, I would love to. I'm gonna take a look at it, and I'm also going to share it. I remember that. Like it seemed like it was just yesterday, and I just like remember the call when she called me and was like, "Hey sis, I want to give you an award," and it was just so beautiful. And then she was like taking her own money out of her own pockets, like not just rewarding me, but rewarding different people in the community. And just oh my gosh, she was so amazing, like beautiful on the inside all the way through the outside. Like just a beautiful woman. Just a beautiful woman. That's all I could say. And speaking of beautiful, Ben, I don't know what video you're gonna take us out with. What video do you plan on taking us out with, Ben? Okay, well, if you could, since we're talking about my sister, do you have the Justice or else near you or you don't? Okay, cool. And if you don't have that one, if you could take us out with the brother, I can't think of the brother name, but he was speaking about he had a target on his back. So let me know which one of those you're going to play, and that way I can say a few words before you bring that on, and we could just wrap up for the night if anybody else don't have anything else to say. And while Ben is looking for the videos, I just want to thank each and every last one of you guys. And we will be back at the medical examiner's office. I'm thinking about maybe flip flopping every 2 weeks. I would have been out there literally every week, but I know that the coronavirus is real, and I just don't want to put nobody in harm's way. That was the reason why we took things inside. And I'm personally not that comfortable with the numbers or whatever, even though we did great with the social distancing, but I definitely want to stay in their face because they need to reopen all these damn cases. Like they need, because I wish, like I said, if this wasn't a pandemic, I'd be right down at the medical examiner's office right now, up in their face right now. Even though they got all this construction work, that's a clear sign. They need to just knock that thing down and build it back up because if you think about somebody lying on people that are dead and families that are waiting for answers, transparency, and all this stuff, and you sit up there and you lie just to get some damn killer cops off, that is disgusting. They need to not only reopen these cases, they need to charge David Fowler. He needs to be charged, him and Pamela Southpaw. Anybody that lies just to get somebody off, they are culpable. They need to be charged ASAP. They need to be charged and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the damn law. Real talk, like that is, and then for them to lie and say the reason why they didn't see that my brother was beat to death because he only had a small abrasion on his forehead. Are you freaking kidding me? Do they know that it's horrible? Like, they know what happened to my brother. Most importantly, my damn family knows, and we have the proof. And I can't wait to get this case reopened and prosecute everybody to the fullest extent of the law. Everybody laid one finger on my brother. I'm coming for you. Trust and believe me. And while we got it popping, thank you, Hillary, for putting that petition in. Please, guys, share that petition. Please sign it and share it. Once we get these 1 million signatures and take and pull all these families around the world together and say, look, we ain't taking nothing short or less. Open up these goddamn cases right now. What could they do? What could they do? Think about that. We got 1 million signatures and a damn million people standing with us, families that are traumatized. They can listen to 400 plus doctors that say that David Fowler is foul. Why can't they listen to 1 million signatures and 1 million or more families that are saying you killed our loved ones and we're taking nothing short but you reopening these damn cases? Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
So Ben, did you figure out what video you gonna take us out with?
Yeah, I'm gonna take us out with Muhammad Tal's "Do the Right Thing." I got a target on my body.
Ben, you're muted.
I say yes. I'm gonna take us out with Muhammad Tal's "Do the Right Thing." I got a target on my body.
All right. So as you watch our brother, and I'll never forget, we were at City Hall. Like I said, we done been out here, y'all, for 406 weeks, 2,842 days. Non-stop. But I want you to listen to this brother and what he is talking about. And at the end, you'll see our brother Boom there, and Boom says, I got you, my brother, or something to that nature. But we have targets on our back. What can we do? Like, we're screaming out for help, and the only conclusion is for them to reopen these damn cases. And I just want to thank our Queen Dre. Thank you so much for tuning in, and most importantly, for who you are. Thank you, Boom, for tuning in, and most importantly, who you are. Celebrate, keep on celebrating, Dan. Like, don't just stop right here. Keep on celebrating, buddy. You got 60 days to celebrate. You got for every year, I want you to celebrate 60 days of greatness, because you are like a blessing to the whole community and just a blessing to us in general. So thank you guys for tuning in. But remember, we do have targets on our back, but what are we going to do about it? The only thing I can say is push up, get these cases open back up. Mic check.
Mic check.
Mic check.
I'm the current Baltimore City Poet Ambassador. I just wanted to share a poem with you guys. I got a target on my body, somebody. Please protect me, got a target on my body, somebody. Please protect me, got a target on my body, somebody. Please protect me. The devil heard I got a message, so he's trying to disconnect me. The mayor said, do the right thing, Doc. So here I am trying to heal the hood. I brought some cameras and my consciousness, a script challenging politics. Didn't need to practice, man, I swear that I was Iverson. Bedford-Stuyvesant lives within them. Cops poison the streets with venom, counteract like penicillin. You see, this pen is healing, but Lee, he had a vision. The heat was cataclysmic, metaphoric of the violent nature cops create in the streets. Let's take it back to Howard Beach, Southern Queens, 1986. To this day, it still makes me sick. One black man killed. They hit him with a car, he who did his dad was a cop. So the charges got dropped, robbed him of his right to live. Kill a Negro, be a hero, brother, that's just how it is. Rest in peace to Michael Griffin. But the struggle goes on, Pete. My boy Raheem, we nicknamed him Radio. His boombox is a blessing. Played his message through a stereo to our hood. An angel amplified through God's plans. I swear to God, he was God's right hand, symbolizing a black man with a message. Love and hate. Wherever one is, you're sure to find another. Just like Cain and Abel, one incarnate killed the other. Yin and yang on both hands, a combo in effect. He could embrace you with a fist or treat you with respect. 2 slices of pizza, and I want extra cheese. Big salad, GOP, it makes no difference to me. Stuffing folks hoping our hearts and pizza down our throats, taking money out the ghetto. Us communists shouldn't meddle with the status quo. Oh, hell no. We want some brothers on the wall.
That's right.
You come to our neighborhoods, we eat here, and we can't get any brothers on the wall. It seems like South Pizzeria is the House of Representatives with the lack of care and cold stares. They invaded us with no fear. There's no fear in the art of war. So when I pick up my gun to protect my son, don't look at me like I'm crazy.
That's right.
Because I told you. I got a target on my body, somebody. Please protect me, got a target on my body, somebody. Please protect me, got a target on my body, somebody. Devil heard I got a message, so he's trying to disconnect me. Nah. History repeats itself and that's just how it goes. Same way that these cops always take my brother's souls. Same thing Darren Wilson did to Mike Brown, yeah we know. Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, Amadou Diallo. While silly white kids argue over who doesn't see color, look around, Billy, man, they killing all my brothers. They justify our death saying that we kill each other. Sit around, enjoy your privilege while I console my mother. No playing, my life's no joke, and that's true-ish. Same rope they hung us on, we tie our shoes with. But not today, I pray no graves be paid, cause I came to bring the change, we ain't stupid.
That's right.
Yes.
Say it, brother.
So when I pick up my gun to protect my son, don't look at me like I'm crazy. Because I told you. I got a target on my body, somebody. Please protect me, got a target on my body, somebody. Please protect me, got a target on my body, somebody. Anybody?
I got you.
Please.
I got you. I got you.